name's Kevin Polky, and I am the founder of KP Counseling. We started 2001. I opened up the doors of KP, and we've evolved, changed a lot from just myself. Opened up KP so I could have a job and just have myself. Working independently of either a hospital or a psychiatrist or anything. So I started off on that premise of just the pure art of just counseling. And then over time, over the last almost 15 years now, we've grown to the point where we're now in a 8,000 square foot building. We have 12 therapists. We run multiple groups, individual, family, group counseling, working from 3-year-olds to elderly. Addiction, mental health, relationship, trauma, grief counseling. A couple weeks ago, director Nathan contacted me and wanted to know if I would take a look at the script. I read the script over. I really enjoyed the initial development of not only the script but of the characters. I saw it resembled what I see a lot in some of the individuals that come in to see me. Specifically if there's problems in reoccurring problems in relationships, or from a standpoint of how to overcome a breakup or how a relationship didn't work. And so I saw probably the biggest thing was that just the genuineness of the project itself, meaning the character development in the script really resembled what I see in life. And so that for me, so I was interested at that point to see if there's anything I could help with. I think all the characters have an interesting story, an interesting journey, and in themselves, I think we could go in depth in each one of them, from that standpoint. But of course, Marty being the main character, I think he has our eye right away. In my mind, I see kind of Marty is that individual who is a romantic. He has this idea of what he wants in a relationship, how he wants that relationship to be from this romantic side, of idealized side of him, and he may very well be that, and he's set his eyes on his woman of choice, is this Alice, and he's been in a relationship with her for a couple of years, and he's worked hard at having his idealization come true, but there's been some difficulties, and he's becoming, for the first time, maybe becoming disillusioned. Well, I think stories have always been, for as long as we've been able to verbally communicate, right? We've always had stories, and we've always had myths, and they have guided us throughout different aspects. And the dyad between two significant others, a couple, has been the most important dyad, most important relationship that we can have, because from there all other relationships begin, right? And so that is, with that amount of importance, there's a lot of energy. With that much energy and that much importance, that means there's probably a lot of misunderstandings. It speaks to us because people can identify, because it is their story. Not exactly, but a story never has to be exactly for us to benefit from. It just has to be enough for us to identify with it, and then maybe it can guide us to different choices. From a financial standpoint, this project is kind of a grassroots, organic, funded project. So if the funding doesn't come in, it's going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to actually do. And even if it does get done, it's not going to be able to get distributed to as many people as it could. And so it's going to be a much slower process. And with that happening, then that means more people are not going to benefit from the project. And to me, my biggest thing when it's all said and done, that is what's most important, is that this tool, and that's what it is, it's a tool to be able to assist others to have a better quality of life, to be able to live the life that God intended them to have, and that's individually and as a couple. Anytime when you invest resources, regardless if it's time, energy, monetarily, into a short film like this, and you see the value of it, and you're in that aspect. You're investing in an up and coming, and a startup, And so to be part of that is to be part of something that can be bigger than ourselves. And I think being able to, from an altruistic standpoint, to be able to help people that you'll never meet necessarily, and then know that, well, I was part of that. And regardless of how that was, maybe if it was donating, $25 or $2,500, being able to be part of something bigger than yourself and to be able to help. We can talk about the failed relationships and talk about 50% of the people or whatever get divorced. Or like this project, we can throw our hat in the ring and go, how are we going to make a difference? And this is a way, not everyone may be a counselor, or a filmmaker, but I could be part of something bigger to make a difference. You have to believe, and anytime you're doing this, the most important thing is believing in the project and believing in something that's starting like this. And then if you believe in it, and if it moves you, and you believe that there's value there, and it could be benefiting not only yourself but benefiting others, then one way is contributing financially. And I think from that way, a couple different ways. I know on Concrete Hearts, looking up on Facebook, Concrete Hearts, that's one way, to look at what has already been developed and what's out there right now, and some of the promotional things regarding that. Kickstart, regarding, again, Concrete Hearts. And then also Nathan Tauch, films.com is another way of getting more information. And for me, at least, just like anything, if I'm going to invest in something, I want to do a lot of research on it to find out if it's worth investing emotionally first, and then what other way I can from that standpoint. So I think the more that people will do research about this and spend the time looking into it, it's going to speak into many individuals, and they'll be telling their story, if not right now, where they have been, or maybe where their kids might be, where the kids are, or maybe where their grandkids may be. Or someone else they don't know. So it is way, at least for me, hence why I'm so passionate about this project, is that it's going to be a tool for me to use with my counselors that I supervise in my own practice, involvement in my own church, and that I'm looking forward to being able to use it as a tool in my own personal and professional world. The most important thing is asking individuals that are interested to pray for discernment. Pray for authenticity. Pray for our eyes and ears to be open for the direction that God may be moving throughout this project. And so just being able to pray for the directing team, for the actors, as well as far as the consultants and any investors, just to be able to make sure that their heart is looking for how do we help. And how do we help the ones that we don't know and never will meet? And then being true to what God has placed on everyone's heart to do. Again, my name is Kevin Polky. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and addiction counselor. I've been practicing for 25 years. Currently founder of KP Counseling and work primarily at KP Counseling. And I just want to thank everyone for listening to this and being interested enough to be part of this project, and just by listening and by checking out and investigating. I want to thank Nathan and his directing team for asking me to be part of it, and I really think this is going to be a useful tool for counselors as well as pastoral staff and lay persons that are working in the church or in possibly schools as well, but most importantly for the individuals and for the couples to be that can be affected and have an opportunity to be all that God created them to be. Thank you.